Okay, my name is Olivia Fears. I was born in Hollywood, Florida, but I lived in Buffalo, New York, Lansing, traveled several different places since I was younger. A mixed family, so I'm like a mixed breed. And I've always loved arts and crafts, sewing, knitting, something, anything to put my fingers into doing something since I was a little girl. And my mom would always buy me art supplies and my brother's art supplies for holidays, Christmas, anything. When I ran out one time, my grandmother let me actually paint on one of her additions on the outside of her house, which was cool. It stayed there for a good amount of years. But I'm self-taught artist, but I'm still, by being self-taught, you're still learning a lot, and it's a lot of things that you think that you might have perfected in a way from reading books or whatever. You learn that no, you haven't, and always being taught, and you always have to have an open mind to learn more, which I do. I have 2 children that stay with their father because I got sick, so been in and out of the mental hospital, deal with depression and suicidal in the past. I'm better with that part. I still get depression. I have bipolar, so I go through mood swings. Learning how to handle everyday life that be stressful sometimes got really complicated. So I live with my mother. This is 9Muses is the first time I've been around other people. I stay in a house by myself and with my mom, and no family affairs, no picnics, no nothing. I don't have other people my age or anybody that I talk to for many years, since 2010. So my caseworker brought me here. And at first I was a little scared to be around people, scared of germs, scared of everything, because you're alone and secluded. And being here helped me tremendously. I started back painting and drawing, which I haven't done in over 9 years. Being around people, I enjoy it, and I enjoy being here. I just started back driving last year because my brother gave me a vehicle because I didn't drive, I didn't go anywhere. So this is the only place that I actually go. And my mom and everybody know I'm safe. I feel safe here, and I enjoy being here. And art is like an outlet for me, and it relaxes me.
My name is Nicole Storrs. I have worked for 9Muses Art Center for 15 years. I was 18 years old when I started here. Now I am the supervisor of the art studio, so I purchase all the supplies, and I still do my first job, which was teach the ceramic classes. So I've taught clay here for 15 years, since I was in art school in college. Same thing as Olivia, I've always done art ever since I was a little girl, and there was nothing that I ever thought, nothing else that I ever thought I would be doing with my time. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I want to be a scientist. It was more like, oh, marine biology interests me, but I don't want to do it because I'd rather be drawing something, or I'd rather be painting something or sculpting something. Being here is important because I like to help people to gain focus in their craft, in their art. Being an artist isn't always, you don't always know, you know what I mean? But it can get brought out of you. We have a lot of people here that never did art before, wasn't interested in it, and now they have this time for themselves, and they have this place, and they come to the classes, and they do it very it's part of their daily routine. They have incorporated it into their lives, and they stick with it, and then they get solo shows, like you see behind you, like Olivia's solo show. And to be honest, before I heard Olivia's story, I wouldn't have believed if somebody told me that she didn't go to art school at all, whatsoever, because she has the inward ability to compose a picture. She has the ability to replicate it. She's a very good renderer, and the way that she uses watercolors is, perhaps it's just because I can't do it. Maybe that's why I'm so impressed. I don't know, but
I love your art.
I can't do watercolor like this. She knows exactly how to work this medium, and it's very obvious when you look at all of her art on the wall. And she's, like I said, her rendering is on point. So I'm just a teacher here, that's all. And I help Olivia, and
I like ceramic class though.
That's true. You do. You haven't been in a while because
No.
we've had you so busy painting hands for your show. But she does take the clay class, and she does sculpt very well. They kind of go hand in hand a little bit, to be honest. If you can draw it, you can sculpt it, definitely, because you kind of have a handle on the angles and the foreshortening, so you can kind of relay that into a three-dimensional form. But
I think the way I feel is, even if it's something, it's a lot of things I don't know how to do. I like acrylic, but I'm mostly, if I do acrylic, it's like mixed media. But I am learning how to mix colors and everything in a class, and learning how to properly use different things together. Because even with watercolor, I know the basics of the do's and don'ts. You start the light and end up with the dark, and I usually start some of them the dark and work around in the middle tones and leave the light, the white paper, leave the light, because it helps me see a little better, those middle grades of tones, with the Payne's gray. And the colors, I'm learning more, mixing colors. But I like the feel of clay. I like the texture, the feel, the touch, and it relaxes me. I like pastels drive me crazy. I won't say nothing that drive me crazy, but I still like, after a while, I like the feel and the mixture. Is I think doing art is really relaxing. It helps me tremendously, because if I can't do anything, I feel like I'm overstressed, I get depressed, I feel anxiety, all those different things kind of start rushing back. So then it's like, I'd be like, so it helps me.
onto the paper.
I need it and I want it. That's I do. And even my psychiatrist is like, don't stop, because it's helping me in my daily life. To handle things better with stress or anything on a day-to-day basis. Even my mother says, Olivia, you're doing better, and the art helps you, and different family members know being here helps tremendously. And actually, it's like my entrance back into the world. It's like another second life for me, starting over again. And I know I have somewhere to come, and people care about me. People keep a lookout. My mom, she's like, my family is happy that 9Muses is here for me, for someone like me, and I have somewhere to go and actually do something that I love doing, and feeling better, because I don't have to, when I feel bad, I come here also, instead of staying home and getting overly depressed. And I've had where I've gone through one of them routines where I would have been in a mental hospital because I'm like overstressed, different things overwhelm me out there in the world. But then I have here, I can come, and even if I don't paint, and I can talk to someone, go through some meditation, or I can do some ceramics, or sit in color, or even just sit, read a magazine, or go through some of the books and have coffee or something, I'm in an environment whereas it relieves the pressure off me. And seeing other people do things they enjoy also inspires me and relaxes me. So sometimes people don't understand what a God gift this place really is. And even when people came to my show, it was like they didn't know. They're like, Olivia, they know I have a disability, but they didn't know that I was capable of drawing or painting. They didn't know that, so they were in shock. And one person, one of my mom's friends, it was like, you actually have something to offer. And they look at everybody else's artwork and they're like, oh my gosh. People perceive us with disability, I think in a negative way sometimes, really bad, because we might not be able to cope with everything, but if we're given the tools or we're surround other people where it helps us, we can learn how to manage feeling bad, whereas we don't have to go in a hospital or we don't have to just sit at home and seclude ourselves. We know we have somewhere we can go, we can sit down, and someone is there for us. It's not always needing to be counseled or anything, but just knowing someone is there, and it's like, how are you doing today? And it's like, and it doesn't matter. I've had days where I could not draw a thing and it looked like scribbles on the paper. And they're like, okay, Olivia, you're doing something. It's okay. I feel okay. But
Gotta get those ones out.
yeah, but some
Get 'em
people,
out of the
they
way.
just automatically kind of write you off. And it's like, so one of the ladies, she's like, oh, my son want to come here because I told her, I said, it's a good place. Someone told her before, and she was like, well, I didn't know. And he's like, he see what you're doing, and they came and he joined, because we do have something to offer the community, and we're here. We're human beings, we're here, and we're learning how to deal with life here. We're learning how to handle our situations here in a better way. Not always perfect, it's not about perfection, but dealing with it in a positive way. And don't let it overwhelm you, and not being scared. And also not being scared of having bipolar, because plenty of times I was like, I don't know if I can do this, because I don't know if I can concentrate to finish something on time, a deadline. And Chris like, you can. You're like, just take your time, just go with it. Because when you depress, colors, different things look different. But I made it through. With their help, I made it through. And
that's preventative self-care. You know what I mean? Like, that's not like, we're doing it because we're here, but we're not doing all that she was saying. Like, that's not, you know what I mean? Like, because we're not counselors.
No.
Like she was saying, we're not counselors. We don't counsel people. We don't tell them who they are or what they should be doing, but we just let them do it for themselves. You know what I mean? Like, because we don't have to control, and that's the whole thing. I feel like a lot of times individuals that are struggling with their mental health have people telling them what to do all the time.
And see, that's the thing about here. It's like, I come and it's like, I can just sit down. I'm like, okay, today is not a good day, and I'm stressed out. And it's like, okay, they'll say, okay, you want to just take a moment to just kind of breathe and
Whatever you want to
kind of
do.
just relax, and it helps. It really do. My caseworker brought me here because she was like, there's a wonderful place here for you. I talked to my counselor about the place. I talked to my caseworker. I talked to my psychiatrist about the place, and they're all glad that I'm here. Just seeing faces when I come through the door, familiar faces, and seeing people smiling, people doing art, and people enjoying themselves, that's a good feeling. That's a really good feeling, because I can't imagine if one day I woke up, whether I'm in a good mood or not a good mood, and then it's like, okay, I want to do some art, or I want to do something to get a little stress off, or something just to enjoy myself, and then I don't have nowhere to go. I don't have nowhere to participate in that type of activity unless I was financially able to go take a class somewhere, and it still wouldn't be the same because I cannot, I'll say at this moment, I don't know what the future will be like. As an artist, sometimes things are measurements and perspectives of how you do things, and I don't see things that way. I'm just visually kind of like what I see is what I try to mimic. I might change a color, I might change a little bit of something, but it's what I see is what I try to put on paper. I can't do measurements and stuff like that. So to be in a regular class and they're getting extra technical, because they teach us that here, but they know that, everybody's not going to get extra technical with, no, I'm not going to take the ruler out. I'm not going to measure. If you say do a checkerboard, I'm not going to do measurements of cylinders and squares and boxes. I'm just kind of like go by what I see, and I don't have to worry about being perfect, and I don't have to worry about negativity here in any perspective. And I've learned, even being here, I don't even have to be judgmental of my own artwork or myself. Well, with my artwork, I don't just do a pretty picture. Sometimes it's a feeling, an emotion, or a question, or maybe a perspective of something that I want someone else to see from my point of view. And that's what I try to do this is the first time I've done a collective piece in a show by myself, which I had a little anxiety, but I was practicing. I've never done hands before, so all of this is kind of new. The show by itself, doing the hands, and then I had to figure out, because see, she has an eye for framing and matting. I don't have that kind of eye, but it's when she say when you're doing it, kind of have an idea of what is going to be cropped out, what you want to be left in, and so whether something is blown up or shrunken down, or I'm just taking just a piece of it, is what I want. What do I want to display to everybody else what I'm looking at? Because sometimes when I have a photo, it's a whole broad picture of a person, not just a hand. So maybe I'll just blow it up and crop out. But I'll also ask her or Chris or somebody, okay, what do you think about this before I even start with drawing or sketching it? And that's about as much as I can say. It's a learning process. I'm still learning, still practicing, still asking opinions. I don't want to stop learning. And I always want to have an open view of other people critiquing and telling me their perspective, because that's very important. Because I might see something one way, but it might be given off to the audience a different way.
Olivia was talking about how this isn't, that if she went to pay for a class, it would be more technical, and it would also be for a grade, which that means that there's pressure, right? And so with those things on your mind, the critique process that you would go through would be your work gets tacked to the wall, and everybody sits around and they talk about it, and you're sitting there right in front of it, and you're just like, okay, like, oh no, oh, please stop. And it's not that that doesn't happen here, because it does, but it doesn't necessarily happen in that dynamic. It, like she was saying, she asks us. It happens on a one-on-one level. Sometimes there's a group of people sitting around well, I'm working on this piece. What do you think about it? Okay, well, we'll tell you what we think about it. Sure, no problem. So it's a little less stressful, and it's because it's not people in your class that you've never met before, that you've only known for 3 weeks or 4 weeks. You know
It's
what
always
I mean?
positive because it's always how to better it. Like if I'm putting too many knuckles there, or I'm putting them the wrong way, I want to know, am I getting this angle kind of right? Am I doing, what's missing? Or what shouldn't be there, or am I missing something that should be there, or this angle isn't lining up right with this part of the body or that part of the, picture, and she'll be able to tell me, okay, she'll look at it, or Chris will look at it and be like, okay, I know what it is. The brow isn't, the forehead isn't, so square. You need a little more of a moon shape, a little more oval, or the knuckles is at this angle a little bit, not that, in order to fit it in. It's not perfect, but I do want it to be as close as properly to the anatomy of the body as you want it.
And sometimes you're staring at it for so long that you go blind. You're staring at this thing, and you're like, why can't I see what's happening here? Somebody please help me. Tell me what the problem is. Yeah, everybody does. Everybody does.
Something wrong here.
It's
not
important.
acting right. Not to erase it about 5 times. I'm like, what is it? What is it? And I'm like, I'm not seeing it. So I go to them. I'm like,
it's that way. Oh.
What is it? What's going on? Please. Yeah. So everything is always in a positive, not a negative. From my perspective, because I want correct critiquing. I want someone else's opinion, whether the color is off, whether the color, what color would be better mixed with another color to get me the skin texture or that I need, or the shading that I need, or, what angle, is it more of an oval, is it more of a circle, is it more of a square? Those kind of things I get from them, and the result is this. So it's always a positive. Okay, I've dealt with depression since I was young, even 8th grade. I've been where I wanted to attempt suicide several times, and I've been where I have attempted suicide several times. I've been in and out of the hospital several times, whether it was my decision or Beta acted. When life gets, I've gone through abuse and different things, and also been around people that take advantage of people that's mentally disabled in a sense of verbal abuse, or they'll constantly tell you, it's your fault, the decisions aren't right. Every time you mess up, or it's not even you, it might be the other person, but it's put on you. It's your fault. You can't make any decisions. You're not good at this, and you're not good at taking care of yourself, and you can't do this, and you can't do that, and I have to watch every little thing you do or say because it's probably wrong. I got married. My mind was, you married for love and happiness, had a baby, got divorced. It ended because of verbal abuse, and tired of apologizing all the time. I'm always apologizing, always felt insecure, unsafe. Got married again, had my baby in 2006, bought a house, had a Jaguar, had a studio, had tried to build a life for myself, what I consider trying to make a normal life, because I compared myself with everyone out there in the world and what people say is a prosperous, normal life and perfect. and you had to have the picket fence. Everybody had to be happy all the time. You're smiling on the outside, but you're dying on the inside. Got divorced. 2009, I moved back here to Florida. My father was dying, and my mother and I was taking care of him. And he died 2010. At that time, I was too overwhelmed. I went in the hospital again. I was too overwhelmed to take care of my own children. So I know the fathers was fine, they would take care of them, and I made a decision to give my children to the fathers. I got to whereas I was too sick to take care of myself. I wasn't taking care of myself. Mentally, I wasn't doing good. Physically, I was very sick. I was on a walker. I weighed about 300 pounds. I wasn't taking care of myself anymore. I felt unloved. I felt that nobody cared about me. People just want to use you, and people degrade you. And I just didn't feel safe out here. And I moved in with my mom, and being alone with my mother in a senior citizen district, but staying in the house, not around even my own family members, didn't have any friends, and I still don't have friends that's out there besides 9Muses that I relate to. So I ended up being a germophobic and various different things. Didn't want people to touch me, didn't want people just breathing around me, and I didn't want to be out there around people in the community. My caseworker last year brought me here to 9Muses. She saw that I had pictures on a wall that I've drawn and painted many, many years ago, almost 9 years ago. And she was like, I have a place for you to go to. Do you want to try? Because it was one of my things written on my case to work on, was to first try to get involved back with humans again, people, some type of way. And it was very hard. But I came, and I remember the first day, Chris was like, hi, I'm Chris. And he's like, how you doing? And I'm like, he touched me. So it was like, and I had a sanitizer, and I'm always sanitizing, and I'm like this sitting down, and I'm looking, I'm like, and she's like, you okay, Olivia? I'm like, I'm okay. And everybody was so nice. And at that moment, it was like a little anxiety was going on, but I didn't drive anymore since 2009. I didn't drive. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't go shopping in the malls or anything. I didn't go to family picnics or anything like that. And I just felt really depressed all the time and cried all the time and felt alone. Coming here, when she brought me, I made it through the first day. I came back again, borrowed my mom's car. I'm like, I'm gonna try again. I got lost getting here because, like I said, I didn't drive. I didn't know the area or anything. And I got here, and I went to the acrylic class. Then one time I went to the ceramic class, and a couple of the group meetings, and started to feel better. I don't have to use sanitizer like I did. I still have sanitizer, but I don't. When I come in, I'm not hooked up with a bunch of sanitizer all over me and jars of sanitizer and have to sanitize. I'm not scared of people anymore. I have my own truck now. My brother actually bought me and gave me a truck last year so I can come directly here because I feel safe here. My family feels safe with me being here. But 9Muses is the only place that I go. I don't go any other places, and I haven't gotten to that point. But I'm getting there because I'm driving. I'm back into doing drawing and painting and different arts and craft and beading and ceramics and things that make me feel good and being around people. And I enjoy sitting, having coffee and creative talk. I enjoy just being here and around people. If my caseworker didn't bring me here, I would still be secluded at home. I might even have been back in the hospital a couple of times, because it was 2010 actually was the last time I had to go to the mental hospital because of depression. I feel good when I'm here. I don't know what I would do without 9Muses. It's not just the art alone. It's the environment and the people that's here that's running it, and the people that come here for support or relaxation or some type of outlet for their own self, or just want to come and learn from the teachers in a new arts and craft type of project, or how to paint or how to do something. Sometimes I come when I don't feel good, but I know when I get here I'll be okay. Just to get out the house and not be secluded again. I think if 9Muses wasn't here, if they just up and disappeared on me one day, put it that way, it would be really a real scary feeling for me. It really would, because this is the only place I have, and I know I can't explain to people all the time, but it helped me a whole lot, and I don't never want it to go away. And I like everybody that's here, and I like being able to have somewhere to come that I feel safe and comfortable and enjoy what I like doing. It's just a new life for me, like a second life. Getting back into the world and learning how to handle my feelings, and knowing that it's not just art in itself. I know some people probably, it helps some because they have somewhere to go to. I know there's other people besides me that but it's helped me be better. And although even my children don't stay with me, they come, they visit me. At first it was a very bad feeling, but I know I made the right decision because I had to learn how to, and still learning how to take care of me. Learning how to be okay with having bipolar. And learning that I don't have to be perfect, and that I don't have to judge myself in a negative way or feel bad. And other people, since I've been coming here, family members, different people, even my mom, it's like they're learning me all over again because I'm a different person, because of the different perspective I have about myself, because even learning that I don't have to be judgmental about my artwork. I don't have to be judgmental about trying to fit in a box of what's supposed to be normal, because everybody in the world deals with things in different ways, in different levels. And I'm learning how to deal with things in life at my level. I come as often as possible, a few times out of the week, if I'm not running around with taking my mom to the doctor visits and different things, because like I say, we live together. Which even coming here kind of like changed almost the role pattern, because it was my mom basically taking care of me. Now I'm able to take her to doctors, I'm able to let them know how she's feeling, what's going on, go pick up her medicine for her from Walgreens, which is a good feeling.
Yeah,
And being able to drive and do those things without her having to always think she have to be in a car or go with me.
Yeah.
She knows I'm capable of doing it, that I'm okay. So it's a good thing.